Well, that is what the questions are going to have to be answered now. It is going to be on USA server, so let's find out what Dignitas can do when the tables are reversed. Because typically, us US queuers like to play on EU simply because there's no one on US. It's quite delicious to see it, swapped around a little bit on that. But we're gonna get this going right now. Oars and Dignitas Grand Finals. The 5K prize pool is up for grabs as they're gonna get this rolling. Iverson spinning back to his team as Mega Zero is gonna be trying to put down a little bit of support. Hafu running over there, getting feared pretty much instantly as Iverson just drops down to half almost right off the bat. The big damage coming out of Wisteria and Script. You notice Wisteria's not playing that Pyromancer, does not want to be tempting his fate with that Iverson, but Iverson is going to Goomba Stomp on top of Wisteria's head, and that's going to be a kill right there. Wisteria, throws out that Runic Infusion, not going to work. Hafu has that laser, going to get taunted out of it, is going to trance right back behind Script as Iverson with those demonic weapons looking very nice. Going to be trying to take down Script. Script with the EX space, the intercept, not going to matter as he did get moonstoned, as Wisteria is going to go down, and the first round of the first map going to be going to Iverson as he bugs out there doing a little bit of a dance.
Just unrelenting damage, man. 727 damage coming out of him in that first round. He can pick and choose his targets, but what was really beautiful about it is while he is owning Script and Wisteria's base, he's EX in-capping Malachor. He lands that EX ability, throws the hammer at them, get that 2-second in-cap. It's just, taking the broom handle and shoving it in the spokes of their wheels, because these guys, they're having a lot of trouble setting up the momentum that they need. If Malachor is in-caps, he's not able to get the heals out, and Script and Wisteria are going to fall behind in the health pool. So we have to see, how this turns out as nice reaction trance there by Hafu, going to go ahead and reposition, but this might not be optimal for her as she is at 70% HP. They're doing a good job of keeping the pressure rolling right now. And Malachor and Wisteria, perhaps they've found a bit of the groove they need as they are adjusting. But as I say that, Malachor getting pressured, the space comes out, Goomba follows it, and Iverson is in an excellent position to get the damage out onto him. There we go, Hafu with the EX space. Mega Zero following it up with the Goo, but the Goo kind of overkill at that point. Just absolutely destroying Malachor, blowing him up. Complete strategy change there as already, we got the Runic Infusion coming out from Wisteria. Can they get a counter kill? If they get it out, they need to make it happen right away. But Iverson sitting pretty with the Goomba Stomp once again, goes out onto Script, and that is it. Punts him away, get out of here, and that is going to wrap this round up as Wisteria is all alone now with that EX space, not going to really be serving any kind of purpose with the double silence going out as well. Nice dirty moves by them, but that's the thing. Malachor left himself open, and Iverson and Hafu were there to capitalize. Just beautiful play by Iverson. Once again, topping out the damage with 656.
Okay, I'm going to butt in real quick. Iverson is probably the master of cancels. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. He cancels M1s, and he canceled his ultimate, forcing Malachor, Malacor's like, oh god, I think Iverson's going to jump. And rightfully so, Iverson did use that ability, but then he canceled it, Malacor's space, and he's like, haha, now I'm going to get my Earth Crush onto you. So look for Iverson and how he cancels all of his abilities and tries to bait out his opponents. So just look for that and similar. Take it away or FourCourt.
Yeah, I've noticed that Iverson has definitely been doing a lot of canceling. You can tell when he does get that cancel off because his bar will turn red instead of purple. But at this point, he is going to get a double stomp onto both Script and Wisteria. Hafu looking really high health. In fact, the entire Worm team at this point not really taking any kind of damage. They seem to be chipping away a lot at the temporary hit points. We got a lockdown going down. It's not going to matter. You got that goo going down onto Malachor, and at this point, Script does have a charge. He is going to charge over to Hafu. It looks like Hafu tried to predict it, tried to get out of it, but did not work. 65 damage to her, but the Moonstone going down onto Wisteria has that Runic Infusion ready to go. Not going to be able to trance any of that until the last one, as Hafu's not going to jump over here to Malachor, the whole space M1 combo. Oh, we did knock him there into that lockdown from Script, but another Goomba Stomp. Double damage going down on both Malachor and Script. It does look like Wisteria died off in the center there. Mega Zero not really paying that any mind, as Iverson's probably going to be taking out this entire team almost solo here on the damage meters, and he's just doing some ridiculous numbers. Script is kind of all alone in the corner, 3-on-1. I mean, he should be happy as 3 girls rushing up to see him, but unfortunately they have pointy things on their hands.
It's too much for him to handle, man. 3 girls, who'd have thought? Script, Boss VG, just can't handle 3 chicks? What is going on in the world, man?
But 3-0, that means Oris has now won the first map in the best of 3 series, and that means we're going to transfer over there to the EU side to see if they can, do the same kind of thing with the ping working against them.
Want to buy, invite.
Yep, throwing them out. Crippler,
Right.
Here we go.
Man, I've really got to get in the habit of saving these replays. That was just silly. You're like, oh, okay, hit play again, hit leave menu, but that replay button is pretty new. Not quite used to hitting that quite yet, and I'm kind of kicking myself at this point because I really wanted to see, a bit of the fine play going on by Iverson there, and maybe take a closer look at that as he, like Kast said, he is the in-cap and cancel king. So, home turf now for Team Dignitas. So we're going to have to see, how does this shape up for them? Is it going to make that big of a difference? Because, of course, Hafu, Iverson, and MegaZero, they have a lot of experience playing with a ping disadvantage. Euro servers are kind of like the BG9 of BLC at this point. It's like you play on EU, you go home, you get out, because that's really where all the action is happening. So a lot of these top US teams, they're forced to kind of queue on the EU because that's where the best teams are playing. That's where the rating really matters. So Iverson, Hafu, MegaZero, insane experience on the EU servers, and we can kind of tell that Scriff, Malicorn, and Wisteria lacking a little bit of that, as their game definitely suffers on the US. You can tell that it's taken them a little bit of time to adjust to dealing with that ping.
And that is something that everyone has to be really aware of. EU or US server are going to have those extra precious milliseconds. I did get kicked out here. Semmler, it looks like I disconnected. You want to just throw me an invite?
Yeah.
Or Kast has my back. Thank you very much, sir. But we're going to get this second map rolling. If Oars can take the second map, and they're already up 1-0 in the round, that means that's going to put them 2-0. And that's the best of 3, I believe.
Yeah. No, if
that means they win. That means it's over.
That means they win.
They're the champions. We cue the Queen song. And we all hold hands and shake back and forth. All that jazz.
Sing Kumbaya and just, have that bonfire with nerd blood in our goblets, right? Right,
absolutely. Kast, you are my Archon brother, dude.
Marshmallows and bone butter.
What's going through my mind.
Marshmallows, Hershey's chocolate, and that's bone butter. Spread that love. But right here, Dignitas has to battle it out, and on EU servers they do have a chance to do it. We'll just have to see what they do, and one thing they need to not do is not hit Hafu's chances. That is getting her a lot of great position and getting her the stacks back and getting her out of danger's way, as Scriff has hit that many times. But here we go. Similar FourCourt, take it.
That was a nice little snipe there by the Trance, by the taunt on Scriff. Gonna get stoned for his trouble though, and he is a little bit out, but a nice Trance once again. Taunt, oh my goodness. MegaZero a little bit out of position here. He did give his barrier away, but the Iverson coming back to field with the spins, gonna try and relieve a little bit of that pressure. But as we can see, Scriff and Wisteria are sitting on full ultimates. We're gonna have to find the moment to do it. Wisteria going for it there, misses his silence, but decides to... What? But decides, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, I still hear you. Keep going, buddy.
Okay,
Keep going.
But decides that we heard a Skype drop there. But man, max range, heroic charge by Scriff onto Iverson. Iverson taking a lot of damage right now. Wisteria trying to clean it up. Goomba stopped by Iverson to reposition. He's trying to get over to MegaZero to support him, but this is not looking good. Iverson is one hit from death. Hafu there. Johnny on the spot with the lasers, getting those heals off, but that may have left MegaZero out in the open as he is forced to run away and use barrier on himself. What just happened? Wisteria goes down, Hafu and Iverson cleaning house, and what is that? Malicorn gonna go back, get that rune, good job there, but this is not looking good. Iverson is sitting pretty right now. He's got 2 healers to back him up. It's gonna be really hard for Scriff. You did use that heroic charge point blank on a MegaZero, and this is not the optimal situation to be in. 2 versus 3, and I see what happened. FourCourtJester got picked out, but Malicorn goes down, got caught in the goo, got caught in the lasers, and that is going to wrap it up.
Turning point of that game, Iverson with the spin, and Hafu with that astral beam. Wisteria used a Wuju and just pretty much ate all that astral beam. Iverson was like on the edge of it, just getting healed up. He was like, oh god, I need to stay alive. I'm literally 1 hit from death. Wisteria was like, all right, that's it. I'm busting the ultimate out. Iverson did the spin, and guess what? Projectiles come now from the center of the body. of the player, not from the animation where their hand is upon releasing. And Iverson, look at that cancel! He did not hit that shield because he canceled his M1 attack. What reactions right there? Shield is an instant cast, but Iverson doing a nice job. And it looks like Wisteria gonna get that nice spell lock there. Healing potion not gonna be available for Mega Zero. And look at this, nice team support. Script coming on back, gonna be stoned though, as it looks like Wisteria trying to do the best he can. They're just spreading a lot of damage around, trying to make sure that they're getting their health bars up. Iverson goes in for a little bit of pressure. Script with a little counter there with the heroic charge. And it looks like Wisteria is just gonna be doing fine all by himself. Malachor still out of the fight. Hafu and Iverson going in the dynamic duo. It's gonna be a little bit too much. Mega Zero also following up with the goo after that space. Excellent job right there. Mobility is down for Herald at that point after the time shift is done. And once you throw down a goo, they're slowed. Hafu with that space, you get that M1 strike off, slow. You got the Earth Crush, that's a slow, and tons of damage all at once. So excellent job right there. And not really...
Collapse.
What?
Just a beautiful collapse.
Yeah, exactly. And, we saw a little bit of spread damage from Scriff, Wisteria, and Malachor. They just didn't combo, and you know what? First kill went to the team that used all 3 ults on one person.
Absolutely. And, the barrier as well. Mega Zero able to get those barriers out on his teammates. He's under no pressure. He's able to give Iverson the openings he needs and the security he needs to get in there and do some damage. And already we see that Iverson gets that spike shield down, 50% reduced damage, but he is sitting on a full ultimate. Malachor got baited out, but the heroic charge isn't enough to stop it. Iverson gets his Goomba Stomp off, and Malachor just gets completely demolished. Mega Zero, Iverson, and Hafu all throwing down on that. They had to get the kill, and they delivered. Just beautiful job out of them. And once again, Mega Zero is just going to go ahead, dodge out of the way. Stone goes onto Wisteria, interrupts that runic infusion. But at this point, Script and Wisteria just sitting so low, and it's not quite enough to do it. We have our victors, everybody. Ladies and gents, Team Oars, Grand
Team
Finals
Oars.
winners of this, Grand Finals BeyondGaming tournament. Look at this.
Wait, is that the actual end? Or, oh, I forgot to say replay. Similar. Please save that. All right, please save that. All right, I think actually, no, is it first to 3 maps? What? I don't know if we got official word from the admins here, but it seems like they might be playing a little bit more. I'm a little bit confused as to what's going on because, I'm just here as the backup man. FourCourt sort of did drop from Skype, not exactly sure.
I have no idea what's going on with FourCourt, guys, ladies and gents. Sorry about this. Jester lost his internet. It looks like he's not on Skype. He's not in game. And this is really unfortunate because, to go through the entire tournament and then have your internet die on you in the finals? What? Like, how do you deal with that? But it looks to me, can I get Crippler to confirm here?
Yes, Mr. Aaron, would you please give us a little bit more breakdown of what exactly is on the rules here?
As guys, kind of just get. Did we get it? We got it.
Oh, FourCourt is back. FourCourt is back.
No idea what that was.
It's just a random hiccup. It's okay. We, picked up the feathers, and I just decided to try and fly with it as best as I could. Wasn't too much of an interruption.
One more match. We need one more match. So it is one more match. It is best of 5 in the maps.
Oh,
It is
all right,
best
all
of
right.
5 in the maps. It is best of 5.
Sweet. All right, let's do it. It is best of 5. Go, go. We are going to have one more. Guys, we're just making sure you were awake. And, trying to give you a little bit more action right here. It's not. It's 2-0 in favor of maps for Oars.
There we are.
But it is not over yet. And they are not going to change servers because the loser does have the server advantage when it comes to this kind of situation.
Yeah,
so that's why
losers
we're
get to
saying
pick.
EU.
And, yeah, dude. 2-0 in the favor of Oars. They are sticking on the EU, but, of course, that comes back to our argument earlier. They have more experience on EU. It's not as big a crutch for them. So they are not as unhappy to be in this situation as, you would think. They're used to having that ping disadvantage. So we're going to have to see, what is Scriff doing? He's on Glutton. Scriff is on Glutton. What is going on here? So they're deciding to change it up. Malachor on Alchemist, Scriff going Glutton. And we're about to see what Wisteria chose. Harbinger. Very interesting choice. Mega Zero also. What, complete changes going on here as Mega Zero is opting for the NG. So guys, we got like total.
He's a beast NG though.
Yeah, he is a beast. Well, dude, Mega Zero, he's a beast whatever he decides to play. But this is going to be very interesting because, Scriff, Wisteria, Malachor going with a completely different comp. Completely different. The dynamic totally changes. And we're going to have to see, is Team Ors used to playing with Mega Zero on Engineer?
Well, is Malachor, Wisteria, and Scriff, are they used to those bloodlines? I'm really interested to see this, and they are top tier players, and they do play other stuff. So don't just assume, oh yeah, they're trolling. No, they're not. I mean, they play other things, not just only focused on one bloodline, and we'll just have to see how they go from here. As I guess I'll just pick up this match right in the middle. As Wisteria just playing on that Harbinger, going to be just trying to throw the blood grips out. What can he do? He's going to get an affliction onto Iverson, control some of that damage. Scriff just sitting in, trying to mitigate some damage, trying to run away from that machine gun that Mega Zero's throwing out. Aftershock not going to hit anybody. Scriff trying to use that max range of that. We do have Dark Ward on Wisteria right there. Mega Zero's going to try and get on Malachor in the background, try and control him, get a little bit of damage. Iverson jumping in as well, but he could be going down pretty soon. Good support from Scriff with that stone shield. And look at this. Warm Team now being pushed back into the corner. It does look like Dignitas. This is their secret comp. They're acing the hole, and it looks like this could be very good for them as Wisteria using the EX is now trying to get that EX Shadow Bolt off. And there goes the Engineer. Mega Zero getting taken out in the bottom side of the screen. And this is looking like a nice cut, set, and wrap here for Dignitas with a completely new and different composition. Never seen him play in a tournament with this. But you know what? It's hella effective. And they are taking out Ors. And it wasn't easy, but they have health and they are all alive.
Yeah, you just said hella. Okay. We're gonna like just iron that over. Yeah, dude, this is definitely working out in their favor. Of course, Mega Zero on the Engineer, you would think he would do better against Wisteria and Scriff, but Iverson definitely gonna have some trouble dealing with Scriff's damage here because Glutton, of course, the equalizer when it comes to Raveners, he can get the counter pressure out there. Oh man, rocking another trance though. Scriff, come on, bro, you can't be doing that. As Scriff, go ahead, Stalagmite's Hafu, and there it is. He's got it sitting pretty right in front of him, mashing those M1s into her face. Hafu down to 40%. Iverson trying to peel. Nice meat and need to stop that peel though, and Scriff not falling for it this time. Gonna go ahead and not proc that transit. That's exactly what needs to happen here as I feel like we're missing somebody here. Yeah, we are missing somebody here as Malachor apparently got absolutely destroyed in the meantime. I'm all focusing on Scriff and how well he's doing actually controlling Hafu and Iverson, and in the meantime Mega Zero just absolutely melting Malachor.
Malachor got melted by Iverson, Hafu, and Mega Zero in the beginning.
How did I miss it?
It was just a total collapse.
How did I miss it?
You had the end caps from the M1s. You had the M2, the Thunder Strike. You had EMPs. You had the shotgun, the shrinks, everything just on Malachor right in the beginning. And there was nothing to be done. Scriff could not help out, and we'll just have to see how this round goes. FourCourt, will you want to pick this one up, sir?
I think that Kast, you're doing a great job, so keep it up, buddy.
All right. I'll take this one. Finally, getting a moment to shine right here. Not sitting in the observer seat, but look at this. Cold Team is playing a bit back, and I think that was a little bit of a mispull right there onto Scriff. Bone Crush Rush. Here they go. Mega Zero, Iverson, and Hafu trying to get onto Malachor. Great nether shift though to keep him out of that pressure. We got the affliction going on, gonna heal Wisteria up a teeny bit. Here we go, Malachor still stuck, and look, great goo right there. Hafu's just gonna be sitting in it, gonna have to space on out right now. Good EX space to just get on into that. Sleep from Malachor, Aftershock comes out. Iverson could be going down, one more hit, no. That spike shield is just gonna save him, but Malachor, one more boom shot, there it is. It's gonna be a 2v2. Mega Zero taking out Malachor. In the meantime, Iverson getting wailed out and chipped down by Scriff and Wisteria. So this is going to be a, a melee DPS and tank versus, oh my, Rez is coming. This is it. Hafu is looking for that. Can she stop it? Yes, just in time. Oh no, all in the meanwhile, Wisteria could not handle Mega Zero. And, what a gutsy move right there. Trying to go for the Rez. Not worth it though. Hafu just getting over there in time, able to stop all that shenanigans, and that could have been Team Dignitas right there. Just a like one more second. I think it had one more second
One
on
more second and it was over, dude. One more
And it
second.
was over.
They would have
Yeah.
had Malachor up. It would have been a completely different game.
Yeah, barrier, deadly injection, sleep, all off of cooldown. Ugh, very gutsy play, but Ors is going to capitalize on that fact, and they did take him out.
Dude, they took out Wisteria. Wisteria, you know, kind of, I don't know, maybe if there's some miscommunication there, because he really did go aggressive. He went in there, he spaced in, used his other side, and then ate a machine gun for his troubles. I'm wondering if, you know, he thought that he was going to have Scrift to back him up with that move, because he really, you know, just fully committed to going on the attack. And Mega Zero was just like, okay, you're all alone. I'm going to punish you for this very hard. And, you know, that's exactly what we saw. Bit of a odd situation here, though. Scrift going to go ahead and throw down that Earthstorm. Good job by him. He was a bit out and surrounded there for a second, but whoa, great instant trance by Hafu. Going to allow her to reposition, and there's the damage onto Scrift, but Scrift not too worried about it at all. He is eating some machine guns, but Hafu, in the meantime, is at 50% HP. Trance gets procced once again, though, and that's going to allow Hafu to reposition. But in the meantime, Mega Zero and Iverson are taking significant damage. There's the Goomba stomp onto Malachor, but a great stone shield by Scrift to stop it. Aftershock is coming out, and this is so much damage. Shadow Bolt from Wisteria, and oh man, look at this, dude. Great job by Team Dignitas to even things up. Wisteria with the Dark Ward, gonna force Mega Zero to interrupt his machine gun, but it's too late, too little. And Iverson, Bone Crush rush onto Malachor, but he is all alone, and Ravener is gonna go, well, not even gonna try and run because of the deadly injection. He's just gonna be like, oh my god, I can't get away. Scrift there, down on the spot to wrap it up. But Hafu just got demolished, dude.
You know what? They knew it too. Dignitas knew it. They're like, something's creeping, something's happening. You saw the barrier go out from Malachor. Then you saw the stone shield go out from Script. And that absorbed, it's like 46 and I think another like 42 from the stone shield. That absorbed about like 80 damage. Right? Awesome damage mitigation when all of that burst was going out on a one player. So good capitalization on the fact that, you know, Worm Team does like to have that burst heavy comp, and they're using their defensive abilities on each other. And Iverson already an ultimate 25 seconds into the game. We've got the stone coming out. Malachor is being pressured, doesn't have a whole lot in terms of getting out of this, you know, situation, but he does throw that EX Clarity Potion, the blind. And right now, Mega Zero is going to be launching all of his machine gun bullets into the corner through that Earthstorm. Wisteria does have the Dark Ward, though, and this could turn things around, as he is just a rambling wreck. At this point, anything he does will just hurt you and heal him at the same time, so Malachor can focus on the Script. Mega Zero gonna have to run out. Lots of pressure from Wisteria. A little bit of a missed Shadow Bolt. Malachor getting that Nether Shift from Wisteria. Good job right there. Goo comes out. Machine Guns comes out. Ultimate's all abound. And look at that. Malachor does go down. So it's up to Script and to Wisteria to get those kills. And there it is. On to Mega Zero. So it is going to be a 2-2 situation. I don't think they're going to go for the res this time. Nice pull. We got the Aftershock coming out. Hafu gonna have to EX space just to get on out of there. No, misses the meat need. Good job right there. Not gonna get that trance. Pull in with the Stalagmite, and it is gonna be a 1v1. Iverson in the meantime taking out the the Harbinger, and this is gonna be good. One more hit. Iverson is gonna go down. And I think, yep, bad temperament, Stalagmite. Iverson's gonna try and do everything. Meat bolt.
Styling.
Yum, yum, yum. He's throwing his lunch away just so he can eat the corpse of his opponent. Script with the 3-2 victory over Ors. Excellent comeback. This is going to be, 2-1 in the map. So Dignitas having a fighting chance here in the grand finals. And I'm getting pumped. So before I was Professor Kast, and now, you know, I'm starting to singles, you know, getting the blood pumped, popping the knuckles. Who knows? This is good. This is good play. And I didn't record that. I didn't save the replay.
I didn't save it either.
Oh my god. No. Dang it.
So much fail. We gotta make it a reflex now to just like hit store replay. Store it. Because I just keep hitting like, oh yeah, play again. You know. I mean, come on, guys. You gotta give us some credit. Like a year more of playing this game. Old habits die hard.
Yeah. I mean, I've been commentating for like 7 months or more now, and that button hasn't been there until this most recent patch.
Man, it's all good.
All right.
Good.
What can you do?
Mega Zero going with the engineer again. So, dude, they're deciding to completely change it up. They're not going for the double healer comp.
I don't know. I think Malachor, Scriff, and Wisteria are happy with this comp change. And you know what would be interesting is I might ask him afterwards if they actually had this in mind and how long they've been practicing this comp setup.
Yeah, no,
Because-
Scriff has been talking about it quite a bit because they, it's been a big issue with the EU players, how to deal with this Ors comp, this double healer composition with Iverson on Ravener. It's very difficult. They have a lot of leeway and a lot of heals, but at the same time, Hafu and Iverson can put out a lot of pressure. So it's difficult for the EU players to really decide, and what are they doing double glutton?
I mean, you know what? They weren't trolling when they were doing Glutton Harbinger.
Yeah, but
I think double glutton's a troll either. I think this is like legitimate, and I think they're counting on the fact of all that burst. You have the Stone Shield, you have the Earth Storm to mitigate damage, 30% reduction, and to help Malachor out in that aspect.
This also might be a snap decision, seeing as how Hafu opted to go for Herald. If they can capitalize on the space, Hafu's going to be in a lot of trouble against the double glutton comp.
That is very true. That is a good point to bring up as well. So Semmler, take this one away with your genius.
Recognize
Oh my
it, son.
God,
Recognize
sick
it.
combo.
What was that? Dude, so dirty. And already Mega Zero getting just tunneled as great pull. Look at these pulls going all over the place. Meat Knees following it. Aftershock from Wisteria, and Mega Zero is taking a lot of damage to the face. We had a great space, and Mega Zero is just doing his best to stay alive at this point, as Malachor, on the other hand, is getting completely worked over by Iverson. Machine gun bullets into the Earth Storm, and Goomba Stomp to follow it up. Malachor just dropping there, and look at this, Wisteria all alone. That's another thing, though, dude. You notice Mega Zero just going ahead, throwing his machine gun into the Earthstorm like that. It's slowing down the pellets, and it's going to make it so that if somebody eats those, it's going to be like 100 damage to the face instantly. And pretty much that's what we saw there, as he was just throwing them in there on top of Malachor. Malachor unable to move because of the Goomba Stomp, because of the end cap. All of a sudden, she's eating like 15 bullets from Engineer, from Mega Zero's ultimate, and on top of the Iverson pressure. It's pretty tricky.
I want to just salute Scriff and Wisteria. Stalagmite to Meat Neat to Stalagmite and Meat Neat. That was a dirty, dirty combo. And hopefully we'll see that kind of stuff again, as right now, look at this. Wisteria is just playing back towards Malachor, ready to give that Stone Shield anytime. They're not using it on themselves quite yet. They know the burst isn't there, so there's no reason to use it. Meat Neat will keep them up. Malachor is just trying to survive by himself. They're trying to push Iverson a little bit out. We got the machine gun bullets. They're going to miss a lot of targets, only hit Scriff a little bit. As you were talking about, all those bullets sort of did clump up, and Wisteria now going to be receiving a brunt of the force. Aftershock does come out onto Hafu and Iverson, and they are both sitting pretty low right there. Goomba Stomp comes out. They're trying to get Wisteria, who did get locked down. Iverson's just around the corner trying to use the Bloodline Medallion. It is only a matter of time before he is spotted, but you know what? They are going to get onto Hafu in the meantime. Space is out, trying to get that EX Spear. Not going to happen. Iverson just forced to heal. So, he did the best thing in the situation he could. But guess what? Scriff and Wisteria throwing down all those Earth Storms, slowing the bullets, the EMPs, the concussion shots, the boomsticks, the machine gun, the in-cap hammer, the fears, right? And once you can dodge those projectiles, which are huge in terms of control, Engineer thrives off the control that you can get from EMP and concussion shot. Once you can sidestep those as a glutton, and you're a big target for those, you're going to be in a much better shape to set up with your own kind of abilities. Also, you can use it as a slow to set up for the Stalagmite, and comboing them off one another. That is really, really a potent comp, and it is 1-1 for now. Semmler, please entertain the fans.
Yeah, Wisteria getting the barrier already, and they're trying to set that up. Look at how they control the field. They're not overlapping their Earth Storms. They're making sure it takes up as much space as possible to make, Hafu's life so much more difficult to heal right now. As Hafu getting pulled in, Aftershock follows it up. Not onto Hafu, though. They're going to opt to go onto Mega Zero, but in the meantime, Iverson was so low. He just got completely demolished, and kind of difficult to call it out here, buddy, because, Wisteria and Scriff, they were on Mega Zero, they were on Hafu, but in the meantime, it looked like Malachor was just having no trouble at all dealing with pressure from Iverson.
Well, one-on-one Alchemist is very good, right? You can Clarity to knock people away. Yeah. You've got the Deadly Injection to stop Iverson from completely chasing you down. You've got Sleep. And once you fake cast it, or once, the spin is down, it's much easier to go one-on-one against somebody, especially a Ravener. So I like that. And also, yeah, they didn't go onto Hafu with those Aftershocks, but they got onto Iverson, slowing him down with that slow debuff from the Aftershock. So that was a really good call, keeping Malakor alive, making sure that he's nice and pretty. And they're using their EXs. Look, Wisteria using the Healing Garden because he knows that Malakor might have a little trouble later. Deadly Injection, Clarity to knock Iverson back. Here we go. Top of the screen now. We got Aftershock from Scriff. He looks like he might be in a good position, but he gets punted out. Nice in-cap hammer. It looks like still no ultimate's going to be coming out yet. Aftershock is feared off or canceled by that fear. Malakor does have an ultimate. There it is. Going to throw the goo down. Gets that nice stone shield. And Malakor there. Sidestep in the in-cap hammer. It got slowed down a teeny bit. EXs. The Healing Garden's coming down from Scriff. Wisteria almost has the Aftershock. And it looks like we might have another big, huge wave of damages. There it is. Aftershock's going to hit multiple opponents. And that is going to be a cut, set, and wrap for one of the members. Hafu does go down to that relentless pressure. Iverson and MegaZero are the ones left alive. Good capitalization off of the lack of mobility for the Herald. And using the Aftershocks at the right time. You know, they're staying pretty far away. Aftershock does have a good distance to it. And at this time, they're just throwing stuff down and just... I don't know. This is good. At Dignitas now, it is 2-2. And they have a chance to win this first set and to go 1-1 in the sets with Ors. I don't know how they're going to respond. This is the first time Ors has really had a lot of trouble with a certain comp. Usually, you know, they're pretty close, but I don't know, man.
But look at this. Ors has got the ace in the hole, man. They're going to go up the US.
Yeah.
So the ace in the hole. This is their fallback plan. They're like, okay, you know, we can afford to goof around a little bit on the EU, try these different comps out that perhaps we've been working on. But, you know, we've always...
I don't know if it was like goofing, though, because...
It's not goofing, you know. It's not goofing in that sense. It's goofing in the sense that they have a little bit more space to experiment.
To try, yeah.
Because not only do, you know, they had the 2-map lead, and they were on EU, they were comfortable, but they also have the fact that they're coming out of winner's bracket. So they can afford to even lose a bracket, and they'll still be fairly comfortable.
Yeah.
So, they got that safety net to keep the confidence going, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're not goofing around by any means. So, like, running Engineer by MegaZero, I mean, he played Engineer with Teldo and Zwacky, right? I think he did. No, Zwacky played the Engineer. Teldo was
played Harbinger?
And MegaZero was a Psychopomp.
That's it.
But he has played Engineer some other times. I remember that. So... it's not like he's just being like trollololol like SK was a little bit earlier in the tournament with Jackasm picking, you know, what's his face? Astro. But
Jackasm going Astro, I know.
Yeah, I mean, that's because Jackasm does have, what, like 90% plus on Spearmaster. Whereas if you look at MegaZero, let's take a look. I'm just going to go into his profile database. Alchemist, 11%. Astronomer, 10%. Psychopomp, 8%. Harbinger, 7%. You know, and... I'm sure around there is another Engineer or a Stalker. So he plays everything. He just plays it to such a high degree, and he can get away with it because he has such a good understanding of the game mechanics, how to pressure, when to pressure, and what to do. And really, that's a huge part of the game that a lot of people are lacking. Top players have it. They know when to go in, when not to go in. You can't exactly be like, all right, guys, when this exact situation happens, we should go in like this. You should come from the right, do a backflip. No, that doesn't happen in BLC. You just have to play with your team, know their style. You can call out certain things, but it's too fast to predict every situation that's going to happen for every comp because things change all the time. I mean, Double Glut and Herald. How often do you face that in like legitimate play? So, that's what all I'm going to have to say. And Semmler, please take it away from me before I get in trouble.
Yeah, it's a nice reads there by Iverson. He manages to land his mace to the face, and he's going to get that in cap off. But right now, there's going to be a bit of a collapse on top of him. Not really an issue, though, seeing as how he does have barrier. Hafu may have overextended slight bit, seeing as she went ahead, repositioned with her trance. But in the meantime, Iverson just doing massive damage, getting a double Goomba Stomp off onto Scriff and Malakor. And this is going to be quite a bit of damage to be dealt with as Hafu opting to try and keep some pressure going, but Iverson in the meantime is just getting completely worked down. Lockdown comes out onto Hafu. She's not going to be able to heal. MegaZero was locked as well. Great punt by Iverson to get Scriff out of position though, but Wisteria is there. Johnny on the spot with the stone shield and with that additional damage onto Iverson, forcing him to kind of play it tight, play defensive. Scriff is sitting on the full ultimate, and there it is. It goes out, but Malakor, Scriff, and Wisteria were kind of caught in that momentarily, but Scriff had his space to reposition and get out of there. But, this is not looking good right now. Iverson getting greedy a little bit with that Goomba Stomp. Triple Goomba Stomp goes out, but the barrier was up, and oh my god, they managed to take out Malakor. Malakor completely don't want to say out of position, but capitalized on at that point. Iverson and Hafu there just to put the damage out. Wisteria is going to have his Stone Shield to stop that deadly injection, but at this point, it's not going to matter. And really look at that, huge risk taken by Iverson. Gets in there and does the Goomba Stomp. He's like one hit from death. They could like turn around and sneeze on him and he'd die. But that's the communication you have. Mega Zero, Johnny on the spot with the barrier, spamming heals into him, and he was just barely able to get out and get the kill onto Malachor. So huge payoff there by 4 Team Ors in the end.
Yeah, I mean, they've got double healer. Mega Zero is saving his barrier primarily for Iverson. And look at Mega Zero's position. He's staying way back. Hafu's the more aggressive one. Gets that damage, debuff onto the other teammates. And, that allows Mega Zero to sit in the back, able to throw out all that kind of stuff. He's, just fine and dandy. And Hafu, again, with those, stones, again, it's probably going to be followed up by an in-cap hammer. Nope, sleep is broken a little bit early, and that could spell a little bit more disaster for Ors. Although the health for both teams is very high. We'll have to see what kind of control comes out. Iverson did get that Earth Crush, doing a little bit of damage. And that Stone Shield going to absorb the Mace Strike as well as that sleep. And this going to be a little bit of a retreat here for the Cold team back into the corner. Not too much damage is done, though. They're doing a really nice job spreading out, moving around. But look at this. Malachor does not have a space anymore. He had to get out of that goo, but Earth Shields are coming up, and Malachor he's not going to get the EX Fear off. He is actually just going to be stunned to death by Iverson right there and not be able to survive. Unfortunate. I don't think there was another Stone Shield up for him, and I think, they were counting on him just to survive a little bit more. And right now, this is going to be 2-0 in favor of Team Ors at this point. Iverson just always on top of the damage charts, getting such a quick Earth Crush. I mean, the cooldown for his Mouse 2, the Thunder Strike, is low. I think it's like 7 seconds. It does a good end cap. It allows him to set up for his M1 swings, which give a good amount of energy, as well as, crude strikes or anything else he pleases, which can give him energy as well. And he's hitting him all the time, just like that. Boom. Now he's just getting the most energy in the game right now at this point. Spike Shield. Doing a really nice job, and Semmler, please take this one.
Nice snipe there to get Mega Zero to have to reposition, but Wisteria is getting pressured pretty heavily by Iverson. Iverson already with that Goomba Stomp, so we may be seeing it pretty soon here as it goes out double on top of Wisteria and Scriff. Scriff has got his Stone Shield to keep him safe, though, but Aftershock is going to come out. Not really going to hit anybody. Lockdown follows it. That may have been a bit late as the goo is on top as well. Scriff, Wisteria both sitting pretty in it, and right now they're in ideal position to go ahead and pressure Malachor. Malachor eats the Moonburst, so he will be slowed down slightly, but Mega Zero always jotting on the spot with those heals, gets in position. Great sleep onto Wisteria. A double Goomba Stomp comes out once again, and right now Team Ors is doing a great job of sticking together and supporting each other. Malachor is just getting worked out, and he is forced to space right into the arms of Mega Zero. He did get that EX Sphere off, but not in time, not fast enough to get the kill, and not to stay alive, I mean. And looks like we have Team Ors, I think this is it, dude. Team Ors winning once again. Just winning, dude.
Winning. You know what? They are good at that. Iverson, okay, it's one thing to have 15.1 TPS. Sorry, combat value per second. They changed it. Still can't get over it for one round. But all rounds, 15.1 TPS,
Yeah,
700 combat value higher than anyone else. Crazy damage. And you know what? That isn't just all him. As much as we're talking about Iverson, Hafu's there with the damage as well, and great control. Getting a lot of those moonstones off. The Moonburst, the M1, swings with all that debuff. And really, that's huge. That's setting up Iverson to be able to chase down opponents, to get all those M1 swings off, as well as Mega Zero, right? Iverson can't do all that by himself. He is getting punished a lot. But the barrier comes out. A sleep is thrown by Mega Zero. He's having a lot of support behind him. And really, that's why he can go so gutsy. That is his job, essentially. To be very gutsy and just rely on his teammates for that support. They'll follow him in. Hafu usually does. As well as Mega Zero, throwing out the clarities, deadly injections, you name it, he's going to get it, and he's going to be able to, sock it and rock it